Good morning, this is Glenda from aka GK Fralin, a friendly community. And the community part, I usually say this at the end, but I'm going to say at the beginning for anyone who is just listening in and may not listen to the end. The community is the comments, and there is a lot of interaction between everybody down there in the comments. They're very accepting. I'm going to ask you ahead of time to please subscribe and give me a like, because I often forget that at the end. Anyway, that is done. Okay. Today I'm going to talk about what you should be doing right now if you are in a disaster path. I'm going to give you what I do know. I was a Red Cross volunteer for a few years. That included disaster. I helped with some tornadoes and stuff. The thing of it is, you do have resources to call on. They can help you to know what to pack for shelter. You don't want to overpack because there's a lot of things they do have, but call your local Red Cross if you need to, or your emergency management in your area. Every county has an emergency management. And find out, or just go to their online site and find out what you should have with you to go to a shelter. Some things that are important, especially if you have an illness and have medication, take enough medication for at least several days, if not longer. But make sure that you do have medication. It's very hard in an event like Hurricane Irma to get those things in. You get help with vouchers and stuff. Medication is one of those things that Red Cross and any of those shelters, they just can't have on hand. They can help you with them if they're able to get you out to get them. So, and talk to your doctor so that they can also help you to know how to prepare for this. Take one or two changes of clothes. Nothing fancy, because you're not going to be needing makeup and that kind of stuff. It's really too much bulk, and you don't need a lot of money, because they'll be supplying you with food and stuff. Anyway, this is just a quick overview of some things that you should get ready for shelter, and call it kind of a go bag so that it's ready ahead of time. You don't need, a huge suitcase. They won't have room for all that. If you need to just put it in a bag, or if you have a backpack, something like that. The same thing if you're in one of those fire zones, especially if you have a chronic disease. If you have needs for like wheelchair and stuff, make sure you're on a list for evacuation help. Well, you should do that anyway. But for handicapped or people who have certain difficulties, you really need to make sure you're on a list for notification. That allows me to make sure that my portable is charged and I have my oxygen. So that's the main thing today that I want to encourage. It's better to be prepared than to panic. There are a lot of people panicking in Florida right now. Stores are getting very bare. Gas is getting, people are running out, or stations are running out of gas. listen to what the Florida governor is saying. He's very well versed in these situations because they have preparedness plans done and ready ahead of time. So does the Red Cross and the emergency management. They can't do everything. And that's one thing that sometimes people get a little irritated, but that's why you need to be prepared to help yourself as much as possible to get that contact. Know your evacuation shelter areas, especially if you're on a coast down in Florida. And as far as your animals, there are shelters for animals. Make sure you have, specific instructions or anything like that needed for your pets. A lot of people, it's just, in situations like this, they're busy and they're not, they're trying to get prepared. It's easy to forget what your pet might need, especially if when you're not used to doing these things. So, and, it's not that you're mean to your pet, it's just human nature. There are going to be people who are going to specifically shelter pets. We have one, Carla, you have a deaf cat, and so it will be, you need to give them instructions maybe on what to do. I'm just kind of going out of my head here with things and trying to remember, but go online, check your local Red Cross. Most of the time, they're inundated with calls, so if you can, whatever you can get off of, the online sites, do that. I mean, go ahead, try to call them, try to get through, if you need to. Call your city. They will be able to give you your evacuation plan for your city. I don't know hurricanes, and I don't know wildfires, so make sure you get yourself educated on it. Because that's the best thing you can do. Get yourself educated so that you can get well prepared. Freeze water. That way you can, if you need to, if you are able to shelter in place and the water is gone in the stores, if you can freeze water in jugs. I don't know in Florida what, if you use tap water, if you use filtered water. I don't know what your thing is. But if you can fill your jugs or, like milk jugs and stuff, if you can freeze those or even just small water bottles and get those frozen and ready, then they'll be able to thaw when you need them for drinking water. And freezing also does help, kill off a lot of bacteria. Anyway, I don't know what else to tell you right now. I really don't. I'm just telling you the few things that I do know. Take my, if you are able to do, most importantly, get a hold of the places you need to get a hold of, or call them, or just go on their online sites and make sure that you've done what they tell you to do. I'm concerned, but a lot of times it's better to be concerned and not end up having to use it. And I think that's what a lot of people are trying to do. But the panic doesn't help. And I know a lot of areas where panic is setting in. So, but if you get on a, if your area becomes an evacuation area, and they're shuttling people. Make sure you're on that list. More than likely, they're going to, but, they're in a rush too. So you need to be a little proactive. Anyway, that's pretty much my video for today. And I'm trying to help, and I hope I am. And it's going to, it's going to be stressful. And be sure and talk in the comments. There might be some people there who have been through some of these disasters, or maybe you are someone who, maybe you have someone who's bedridden or in a wheelchair and you don't have the help you need, or you need to arrange the help you need. So in order to get that person transported if necessary. So we're praying for you. We're all praying for you. And I'm just glad that the Florida governor is on top of this thing. He's not waiting. He's not doing a wait and see. He is very ahead of this as much as he can be. And I'm very impressed with what I'm hearing from him. He's doing broadcasts and stuff. So you can probably get, if you have YouTube, you can probably get those information and stuff on YouTube, because a lot of times they will post those speeches or those, information things. So that can be a resource too. So anyway, I love you. And, as I always say, it's impossible for me to not feel love of a neighborly type love, or even a friend love that we are developing in this community. And so I want you to understand that you're not unloved, you're not alone. Subscribe. If you can give me a thumbs up, do. Get into the comments, either read them or participate, because there's people there who've probably been through more than me, have better information. Go find the information sites and share them. So, love you. Take care. Be safe as much as possible. Remember your medications on your go bag. As much as you can prepare to take with you, that's less that you all have to worry about not having. So get that done. Be prepared. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back. And so anyway, since tomorrow is another day, hasta mañana.